Alright, roll call for Mrs. Berger.
Here.
Mr. Burns.
Here.
Mr. Hood.
Here.
Mrs. Sleep.
Here.
Mrs. Wood.
Here.
Alright, all present.
Welcome to the February 9th board meeting. We have any
Anybody signed up for it?
recognitions of guests?
First thing up, we have our February Superintendent Award winner, Ms. Taphouse. Ms. Taphouse was nominated for exemplifying a progressive mindset. She was nominated by Jennifer Gasser in assistance with Amanda Clare. They all three work in the middle grades for the seminar program that we have here with the EDGE program. They said about Amy hits all the P's. She's always willing to go above and beyond to help her teammates and coworkers. She has stepped up to be a leader of the Idea Lab and helps both myself and Connor Campbell with ideas that we can all complete with our kids. She is willing to take the time to listen to my projects and help me come up with ideas to better it, as well as ideas of how to incorporate business partners. She has organized the Idea Lab and keeps the place ready for students. She is just the epitome of a great leader, always professional, always positive, and truly progressive with her ideas and projects. That was Jennifer Gasser. Amanda Clare says that Amy Taphouse is one of those teachers who does so much beyond the expectation. You can find her alternating between her classroom and the Idea Lab space because she is always going 100 miles an hour working on something with students or to help a coworker. Her seminar EDGE projects always have an authentic purpose that have students engaged and excited. She is one of the best colleagues to everyone because she is always willing to help others grow and learn from her. So, congratulations, Amy. You want to come on up and just and I know the science department would also say the same. So, picture over here. We have the space. Sorry.
I haven't seen this one.
Sorry, I did my stuff. I'm sorry, guys.
You're in.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Look amazing. Congratulations.
I like the spot, there's more women.
Yeah.
I know, so I'm thinking you feel a little bit, yeah. Do we have any public comments?
No public comment.
Okay. All right, before we move on to the discussion and action agenda, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to remove item 2D, playground equipment, on the action agenda. Would it make sense for us to talk through discussion now or do that before we get to the
It's up to you guys.
agenda?
I think it probably makes sense just to state, so we've gotten a couple of bids for the playground equipment. And we feel like it's a lot of money to spend. And so we just wanted to make sure that we're doing our due diligence. And so we're collecting a little bit more information on a couple of other schools, just to compare prices, potentially different options. So we are looking to make that decision next month.
And Aaron, I have a question. Procedurally, do we need to remove from the agenda if it stays on, we have to vote? Or are we able to discuss and table it to a future agenda?
My preference and best practice is to remove it. I think tabling becomes confusing when you seek into the minutes.
Okay.
So I was just going to say at the conclusion of this, then let's place a vote for the record, removing it because we had a first, a second.
Okay, so your recommendation would be to remove it rather than just leave it open and pass it on?
Correct.
Okay. What's the difference?
That's a great question. And selfishly, it's my preference, so if I'm ever having to review if we took action or did not take action, I know if it's removed from the agenda, we never took action.
Okay.
I think that's cleaner. That makes sense.
Any other further discussion? Are we ready to vote? To remove.
Yes, that's all. Yeah, great.
You know me.
Since we don't
okay.
have Lori.
Do you want me to call names, or are you calling names? I'm just writing who did it.
I can't.
Miss Lori.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Berger, Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Hood,
Yes.
okay. Wooten, Ms. Wooten, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back.
Now we can move on to the discussion and action agenda. And the first item is the creation of a budget committee. I'd like to take a motion to create the budget committee.
I'll make that.
I'll second.
We need to read the rationale of the budget committee.
I think that's helpful.
Okay. Glasses, yes, okay. The rationale, the purpose of the budget committee will review the budget and report back to the board with input at the board's request. This will be a standing committee that will complete assigned tasks to report to the board as charged. The second is the committee may be terminated at any time by a majority vote of the membership of the board. And the third, the committee will be comprised of 2 board members, the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, the finance director, and the elementary and the Beechwood High School principals. I'd like to make a motion to create the budget committee, or I need to ask for a motion.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion?
No.
Already
I
discussed
think it's,
enough.
I think it's great to have one.
idea, and
Yeah, provides input from
Gather information.
the school, the buildings, allows for them to be educated and learn about the budget process. Christy being a part of that, it's vital, all the work that she does, but to be able to share that with a broader audience and allow people to get input on use of finances is great.
And it was just us at our working meeting, but I feel like we covered it pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, we did,
So-
right. Great, good. Time to vote then.
I'll call roll. Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Sleet,
Yes.
Ms. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Hood.
Yes.
Just FYI, Lori's at home watching, she's taking the minutes as we, from home.
Okay. B of the action agenda is to amend the policy 09.12. This is the first reading. The first reading was on
Second reading.
the January 12th. This is the second reading.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
This is just about the credit card charge and the definition of children in the policy.
All right, I'll call roll. Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Sleet,
Yes.
Ms. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Hood.
Yes.
Pass.
Okay, the second is just a first reading. C, the amend the policy of 10.5 visitors to the school, the first reading. There doesn't need to be a vote on that.
Yes, you do, well, we do, no, not on the first, yeah. This is just a first read of a policy recommended by the attorney to look at our policy to make sure that the virtual meetings align with the in-person meetings where in an attempt to record, the recorder would notify the group in an ARC meeting. Since we do them and offer them virtually sometimes, it just aligns the virtual meeting to what we would do in a standard in-person meeting. Just changes the language.
I didn't hear, did we need a motion before?
No, it's just a first read.
First reading. Okay. We are moving on to the consent agenda. Take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Anything we need to discuss inside there?
You got the use of facility, those are typical. Tiger Trail Race, Ed Camp, Santa Fest, Torch Prep. Torch Prep, just so you know that SAT is tonight as well. It's in the cafeteria tonight because we're in here, but next couple of Mondays, Torch Prep's here by way of the Education Foundation supporting, offsetting a lot of the costs. So we have all of our juniors in cafeteria, I think 70 plus juniors right now getting that Torch Prep for the SAT since it's a new test this year versus the ACT last year. So just wanted to make note of that. That's one of the use of facility requests. If you look at snow days, so we have 3 snow days used as of now. The December date will be teachers will have the ability to have the flexibility to get those hours from that day. They could get those by coming up to school or getting some professional learning on the 16th, the day that we're off school. It could be over spring break, it could be on the weekend, it could be in the evening. They go through their principals to get that approved and earn those hours to make up that day in December. That falls in line with what a lot of the times what we've done always with making up a day. But then in the working meeting last week, talking with the board was gracious and generous enough to think, what about the other 2 days? Could we just waive those days, count those as work days? Well, we all know that teachers on those days, they aren't at home relaxing. They are getting grades done. They're lesson planning because they have just 2 days taken out of their week. They've got to now scramble to squeeze the rest in for the next 3. They're checking emails. They're working. And so the board coming together and bringing that up and saying let's waive those as work days was awesome. So that's as part of the consent agenda is to waive the 2 days of January 26th and 27th to count as work days for the staff. So we'll follow up with some details to the staff tonight and tomorrow through an email to clarify how that works. But definite appreciation to the board to allow that to happen.
Absolutely, agreed.
Well deserved, for sure.
That is all I have for consent agenda.
Okay.
We ready for a vote? Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Sleep?
Yes.
Ms. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Moving on to information section of the meeting, superintendent's report.
First thing we have up here is the wellness presentation. It's the first of 5 pillars. There are 5 pillars that exist within the strategic plan. We're going to highlight a pillar each of the next 5 months. This month being wellness, next month will be leadership, so on and so forth. As part of that, we're going to highlight some of the wellness activities and experience that occur for our students, that occur for our staff, in conjunction with the wellness innovation team and our counseling team. Both groups have put together some information tonight to share with you guys. The counselors really dove into all the stuff that they provide our kids and put together a really clean presentation to be able to say, okay, if your kid's a 4th grader or a 10th grader or a 7th, look at all that they're going to get this year, look what they're going to get next year. So our families, through this document, can then see, oh, by the time my kid goes through the next 3 years or 10 years or 12 years, look at all the stuff that they're getting in regards to wellness. It really paints a clear picture to our families. It's a great document to share out. So appreciative to them, appreciative to Lauren. But they're going to come up now, I think, as representatives of the counseling team. I know they're all here. I know that Michael and Nicole are going to come up and present on the wellness as it comes from the counseling department. And then Lauren will follow.
Sure. And I think we're gonna do the video first.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I think, we're gonna do the video first.
So this video
It's a
was
great
put
intro.
together by the whole team, all of cabinet, buildings, students, staff. This was put together in conjunction with Zach Wells. Each time we highlight one of the pillars, we're gonna have a video associated with it. This video will be shared out with our community so they can see a glimpse, not just the piece of paper that shows what we're doing. This kind of gets to the essence of what we offer in regards to wellness for students and staff at Beechwood.
You want to make sure that you're breathing. Remember, in, taking that deep breath in.
At Beechwood, we prioritize our tigers' wellness.
I believe that the only way you can take care of others is take care of yourself first.
Doing a little bit of a detox from like the doom scrolling that we get into can be really powerful. So
We know lifetime activities are extremely important because it keeps us healthy for an entire lifetime.
Alright guys, it's about having fun and getting exercise with your buddies, alright?
getting to be charged with the responsibility of making sure that we are all well in this space is really exciting. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's really exciting.
At Beechwood, we love when the counselors come to our class.
When you're anxious or worried or whatever, we have to breathe.
She teaches us how to take deep breaths and other stuff. We work on calming ourselves down.
Like if we teach them when they're little, like how to deal with
obstacles or when things don't go the way we want them to go. And it makes for a better life. It prepares them to be more successful.
Maybe you could make your lines really long and then short, right?
In the elementary school, we've had the second step curriculum being implemented since 2018. Every week, every student sees a counselor.
At Beechwood, we want all of our employees to feel empowered to prioritize their wellness.
I love the things that they offer here at school. Sometimes they bring in people to give us a 5-minute massage. It's amazing.
Every teacher in the building gets an hour-and-a-half extended lunch at least one time per the school year, and that's been very well received.
I think it's just the time that you get to spend with other teachers and faculty outside of the classroom that builds the bonds, that make it stronger, so when we're here together, we know that we have each other and we have each other's backs.
2 right, 2 left, 2 right. At Beechwood, wellness for everybody is one of our top priorities.
What we do from a counseling standpoint is we have 3 pillars that nationally we're supposed to address with students as part of our role. So that's academic wellness, college and career preparation, and all the wellness that goes along with that, and also, of course, social emotional wellness.
When we talk about wellness, we're giving students skills, not only to succeed in school now, but also to succeed in life and any of the challenges really that are thrown at them.
And another thing you can do, I mean, you've heard it probably since you were in elementary school, but those positive self-affirmations, positive self-talk a little bit, right?
I think the classroom guidance is a big piece of us working with each individual as a whole student, not as just somebody in the academic sense or in the athletic sense, but the whole person.
Hello, my name is Molly Crimmins, and along with my friends, we started the Wellness Club at Beechwood. We have always thought that mental health was really important, but we realized that we didn't really have a club or a space that could emphasize that. And so we wanted to be able to have our friends, but also anyone from any grade, to be able to come and just relax.
Wellness is, I think, one of the most exciting and important things that we can talk about.
All right, so, as they mentioned, my name is Michael Brinkman, this is Nicole Dirks, and we're presenting on the counseling department component of wellness. So along with the 2 of us, we have Dara Stiles, Megan Minton, Kristen Hetzel, representing both buildings. What this is our department, along with support from our principals and district staff, we developed a continuum focusing mainly on our wellness objectives and some of the activities we do in that. I'm going to let Ms. Dirk kind of explain the first page.
Yeah,
here.
so there we have all the different areas, and if you go all the way down through 13, you can see how they're color coded. So you can if you have a 3rd grader and a 9th grader, see if they're kind of learning the same skills. I wanted to specifically highlight, the second step and then the little logo that's right there. That's the Family Nurturing Center, and we're fortunate enough to partner with them. They start in preschool doing 2 different programs, their child abuse program and their anti-bullying program. And they start with a puppet show. That goes all the way through 3rd grade. And then in 4th, 5th, and 6th, when we're trying to meet the needs of the intermediate students, puppets don't really get it anymore. So they have 2 great programs. Our 6th grade just finished. It's a 4-week program taught by a counselor at the Family Nurturing Center. They come in every week. They get all the students, and that is called Teen Safety Matters. And then the 4th and 5th have Child Safety Matters. And these are new programs this year, and they do the same discussion, but they also talk a lot about digital safety, which is so important. How to report if you think your friend is struggling or something's going on online that they are worried about, things like that. So we're really fortunate to have them as a partner. And we don't have their logos up here, but we also have school-based counseling, which has been amazing for the overall wellness of our students. We have Mebs and Associates, who serves our Medicaid students, and then we have One Quest Health, which used to be Chunk, and they come in and they do our early intervention program. She's already seen 23 students to date, and they've gone through 8 sessions with her, just 20 minutes. So we try to pull not out of instructional time, lunch, recess, sometimes arts and humanities. And then If they need more at the end, she'll recommend to the parents, hey, I feel like they need further therapy. She also provides school-based. She has 10 school-based students who are seen weekly here for about 35 to 40 minutes. So we're able to offer that kind of continuum of services with them as well. And then our last one is St. Elizabeth Hospice. They come in if we have students who have experienced a death. When we had a student who had passed away, they did some groups, they did individual counseling. We have their interns come in this year and do emotional regulation with our kindergarten and our first grade. They taught them how to breathe, they read a story, it was great, and they're gonna come in the spring and work with our second graders. So just like bringing in that community partnership has been so great to offer those services here at school, because it is hard to get your kids outside of school to places a lot. So we're really, really thankful that we're able to do that.
And that's just elementary, is that what you?
So that is all the way through. So kindergarten through 12th grade can take advantage of any of those services. Yeah.
And when you refer to the amount of students, that is K through?
Yeah, that's K through 12, yeah. So she can only have about 10 on her caseload by the time she sees them throughout the day at once. But so far right now, she is seeing 23 students, so that's pretty good.
What's the breakdown on kids who kind of pursue it for themselves versus a staff member recognizes the need and matches them up?
The early intervention is mostly parents reach out to us and say, my student's struggling with anxiety or something's going on at home, and then we kind of try to figure out at that point, do you need just early intervention, and we can try and see, because those are free for the 8 sessions, or do you think your child, has maybe been in and out and their counselor didn't work outside, do you want to try the school-based? So that's kind of how we, sometimes teachers will say the student's struggling, but usually one of us counselors will get to them first before we recommend that tier 2 or tier 3, level of care.
So if you see they need outside counseling after the 8 sessions, are we able to help?
Yeah, so then they can move into her school-based and they can get on that list with her where she would see them every week.
Okay.
Yeah, for a little bit longer, and at that point, their insurance would pay for the services.
And they're in it, there's not some kind of wait list, or that's great, because I know wait lists are really
Sometimes we
long,
will
but-
have like a 1 to 2 week wait list on the early
But
intervention.
not 6 months like
No,
some places.
No,
Okay.
no, which has been really great.
Yeah.
And then we have MEBS too, so if they do have a medical card, then they can go into that program, which has been awesome too. And she has 14 students right now, I think.
Can they come here?
Yep, she's here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yep, so it's been great.
So, thank you. So one of the things we're lucky to do is outside of our individual admin team meetings, the 5 counselors meet once or twice a year to really understand how's that continuum go all 13 grades. So, for example, she brought up the Teen Safety Matters, which does a lot with digital safety. We really carry that through the 7th grade year, again, the 8th grade year, because middle schoolers, they're just able to handle things in a very different way than your seniors. So we, over the years, decided that really needs to be a targeted intervention, a very targeted discussion. That continues on in the later years, but we have those as standalone lessons, for example. Working backwards, as many of you know, the state requires a suicide prevention lesson twice a year. And so that starts in 6th grade all the way through seniors. That's an example of, we are very much in support of that prevention lesson, but we work really hard to make sure it's not the same lesson each time. So that it's not becoming white noise to the students where, oh, I've already seen this. So for example, this most recent one, Ms. Hetzel kind of developed a really cool, for lack of a better term, animated cartoon that incorporated our specific services. Prior to that, we have an agreement with 1 in 5, a local group that works with suicide prevention, works with families who have lost somebody to suicide. So they'll come in and give us anything from materials to they'll meet with us on how to best deliver those lessons. Last year, Ms. Minton was able to find a service they offer where they will offer suicide prevention in Spanish. So we work with Miss Rudy and we go into her English language learner study skills course. So that's one more barrier we're trying to break down, that lesson is delivered in their native language. So we really work hard to try to do that. 1 in 5 has been an incredible partner for us. As you notice, as you go to the higher grades, some of the more defined lessons start to change a little bit because their needs change. We're really looking at that forward thinking. So as it was put in the video, that college and career planning wellness. We do everything from the nuts and bolts of here's when you start looking at next steps to what might that mean? We know that's overwhelming. How can we support you? Things along that nature. Our department has also worked really hard the last 2 years, and we're going to hit our goal this year of every student is getting a one-on-one meeting with their counselor. So they're quick meetings, usually 5 to 10 minutes tops, but it's really important to us that they're getting a touch point each year with their counselor face to face. And that's something we're excited we've hit that goal this year, and we're going to continue with that further on. And that's in large part because our ratio is very close to what the American School Counseling Association suggested it be. So that's a big part of the reason we're able to make those meetings work. So anyway, that's kind of an overview on the latter half of the continuum. Yeah. Ms. Bromley in a moment is going to speak a little bit on the bullying prevention specifically. Before we turn over, do you guys have any more questions for Ms. Dirks, for myself, or the department as a whole?
You might cover this a little bit later,
Sure.
but first of all, this is super helpful, so thank you. Are there, it's clear sort of what's being done at that top level, like the counselor level. Are there ways that you're weaving these messages into day-to-day, like classroom instruction across, all grades? It looks like the elementary school kids get, like if I'm just looking at, right, like they're getting almost more programming versus the high school students that, of course I've got 2 high schoolers, so I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so stressed out, so I'm just curious if there is, if there's intention behind kind of weaving that into all of their day versus just those specific programs.
Sure. So yeah, the big difference is in the elementary, they're going in weekly, whereas the high school, it's not as appropriate for a lot of reasons.
Sure.
The instruction becomes much more focused at. I think as far as you put it, is weaving it day to day. Large part of that is the culture, particularly set by Mr. Yankee and Ms. Bromley, in the PLCs. It's a very deliberate revisiting of the Beechwood Way expectations. How does that work, particularly in the areas of respectfulness, that sort of thing. I think they work hard. So last month, the Student of the Month was based on We Are Safe. When Ms. Bromley called them down, there's a very short announcement. Hey, these students have been recognized because they're safe, they're making good decisions, that sort of thing. So I think it occurs a lot in that sense. Next week we'll have grade level meetings, and the whole purpose is scheduling, but we never have a meeting like that where then we don't cover at least at some level, here's the classroom expectations, here's how to be respectful. In different situations without the building, we always share again like the Tiger tip line, things of that nature.
That's really helpful.
Yep.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to look at the kind of strategic middle grades of bully prevention?
Yes, so back on their presentation, there's a link. On the second page, top right-hand corner where it says bullying prevention. Right. So our counselors do an awesome job. One thing that has kind of like 1 foot in counseling and 1 foot in like discipline principle type stuff is bullying, and sometimes we get asked about how we're handling that at Beechwood. So I wanted to make sure that I share that with you and that you have some information on that. Just like anything, when we go to look at how things are going, we want to start with data, okay? So these are some data points that were taken from the Kentucky Summative Assessment. When kids go to take their state testing in the spring, the very first thing that they do is take a survey. It's about 20 minutes long. A lot of questions about the culture of the school and the climate of the school, and they answer all kinds of things. And some of those things are highlighted here and are tied to bullying, okay? So we feel really good about our data overall. MS stands for middle school and HS stands for high school. So you're kind of getting a difference between what the 7th and 8th graders are reporting versus the 9 through 12. Well, really 10 through 12 because 9th graders don't take state testing. So we feel really good about students being able to have a really good avenue for reporting bullying when they see it. We have the Tiger tip line.
They have really great relationships with our counselors, so a lot of those one-on-one meetings establish that comfort level where they are not scared to go to their counselor and say, hey, I'm seeing something I'm not feeling good about. Is there something you can do about that? Not just reporting it, but we're taught ways to help and what to do when we see it. We feel really good about that data, up in the 80s and 90th percentile, so that's really positive. Something that we saw that we wanted to look a little bit more into is right here. Bullying is not a problem for this school, middle school and high school, 72, 71%. I think a lot of schools would feel really good about that number, but it's pretty far away from 100%. So I wanted to look into that a little bit more. And so to gather some more data, we looked at the needs assessment that our counselors gave our students in the fall of 2025. In that needs assessment, and this is kind of, you gotta make sure you look at the pie chart correctly, because this is good. These tiny little slivers here of red and blue are the kids who identify that, yes, I need some help with being teased and bullied. By and large, all the rest of the pie graph identified that they did not need help with being teased or bullied. In my mind, what that says is there's maybe a perception that there's some bullying going on, but as far as kids actually needing the help, it's not there quite as much. I think that's totally normal for high school kids. There's going to be peer conflict. Kids are going to argue, and they're going to have to be taught very overtly how to get along, and that's something that we do. Is that bullying? No, not always. And a lot of times I have to go through with students, with parents, what happened? All right, and why is that bullying or is that not bullying? Is it repetitive? Is there a victim? Is there a power imbalance? Are there some of those things going on? A lot of times it's normal high school social conflict, and it's coachable. We talk them through it. What's okay and what's not okay? Do you need to apologize? Do we need to figure out how to say things in a better way? So I just want to share that data with you. And then there's a lot of points. I won't go through all of them because there's a lot here, but as far as just intentionally handling bullying that's happening or could potentially be happening, and both preventing it and dealing with it when it does, we have a lot of things that happen in a lot of different layers. So the counseling department just shared a lot of the things that they do, and a lot of what they do is from a preventative standpoint, making sure students feel a sense of belonging and feel like they love it here and they feel safe to talk to someone if they're having a peer issue. From the administrative standpoint, Mr. Yankee and I have talked to our leadership groups this year. What is bullying? Can you define bullying? What do you do as a leader if you see it? Do you feel safe enough to jump in there? Are you going to be strong enough to jump in there and say, hey, don't talk to him like that, or don't talk to her like that, that's not okay, and kind of squash it before it gets out of hand? And so we've talked to the principal advisory group, the Tiger Ambassadors, NJHS, and then in specific situations where we're having some peer problems, sometimes we talk to other kids that are in that class and say, I need you to step up as a defender and make sure that you are looking out for this kid who's not been treated very well recently. So a lot going on behind the scenes. And then to, I think it was Laura's question about, how things that are embedded kind of day to day. The teachers have a lot of ways that they embed some health and wellness things, and some of it you saw in the video, but through health and PE and seminar wellness Wednesdays, and doing some anti-bullying lessons in 7th grade PE and health class. And then just regular check-ins with 9th grade English in particular, because 9th grade tends to be nationally a place where you see some of these things. So if you have any questions for me, happy to answer. Also happy to answer after if you think of anything else later on. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My turn. Okay, so I think everybody knows me here on the board. The Wellness Innovation Team, so the district team focused on wellness is not new this year. It's been in place for several years. And so we have these particular staff members who are committed to the work this year, but I don't want it to go missed that there's been a lot of staff members over the last several years from different capacities, different district administration, building level, counseling, that have participated in this work, and it's been an ongoing, focus for the district. So I don't, this is a great group of people, but it doesn't necessarily encapsulate all the work that has led up to what we have in place right now. So, but anyway, we do meet a couple times a year throughout the year. and we analyze what's in place, get feedback, and try to develop what we can add that's not already in place or do something new. That's part of the work that we focus on with the innovation team. So again, we're looking at the 3 stakeholder groups, right? Our students, our staff, and our community. And when we got the feedback from surveys that we did over the summer when we did our our district retreat, I just want the board to know that the wellness feedback was extremely positive, not just from the staff, but I'll go into why I think that's been so positive, but also from parents and community members, that it is being noted and recognized that wellness is definitely something that we prioritize and go above and beyond. And so one of the ways we do that, I'm going to highlight a little bit later, is our partnerships with community, people that own businesses who have worked with us to bring some of these really cool opportunities to staff and students specifically. So we talked, you guys kind of asked a little bit about embedding these wellness initiatives into the everyday classroom. And I heard Wellness Wednesday, and I love it. Because I know a lot about that as a classroom teacher. That was something that I implemented here and in previous districts. So the different teachers have an opportunity to bring in all kinds of different, it's more about the intentionality, not that it's already there, but just the focus on it. So this year, this is a work in progress. It has not been launched off just yet, but the innovation team, we came up with kind of like a wellness menu board challenge idea. It would be district-wide, and it would be, like I said, we're still working on it. Nicole and I are getting back together to look at it, but maybe like a 2-week or 4-week time frame where any teacher, if they choose to do so, would try to embed one of these wellness activities. Doesn't mean a whole lesson. It could be a 10 or 15 minute activity that they document in different ways. And it's like a challenge on how many staff members choose to participate, with some kind of recognition and reward of we're doing what we do every single day with all of our students, and it's great work, but we're gonna go a little above and beyond and have a little focus on wellness. I think it's something that I'm excited about doing this spring, and I think it's something that could be like a little challenge that's floated in the fall, and then we have the spring challenge with different activities embedded. I think there's a lot of potential with it, and I'm really excited about implementing that this spring. And then this is kind of like a well-oiled machine. I will also say I do not know of any other local district yet who has implemented something on this level with its consistency. We are very, very lucky here. When we pull up the staff activity guide, I just want to make sure this has been in place since 2020. It has changed, it has evolved. It has involved teachers providing walking club, workout classes, after school on site, multiple community members and their businesses. I'm going to highlight Better Blend, not because they're here giving Better Blend, an actual lesson on why is Better Blend the Better Blend, like the nutritional information behind it. Embra Yoga Studio worked with us a couple of years ago to provide private hot yoga lessons. Right now, if you want to pull it up and click on it, Pure Bar in Fort Wright reached out to me, the word's getting out. They are coming here in a couple of weeks and providing a free pop-up class to any staff member, totally free to staff. That's another thing I'd like to just compliment our district on. There is a small fund that Mr. Kaiser has continued to support, so that most of these activities for our staff are either 100% free or at a very minimal cost. I can tell you the one that's 100% free, and maybe the number one that everybody loves is the 10-minute chair massages. Like I said, we've partnered with Lifestyle Resumption. There's another community business partner. And in the video, just funny note, my aunt's a licensed massage therapist. That was her. She came in the fall, and we were able to pay those service providers for that option, and we do it multiple times throughout the year in smaller chunks, so that as many staff members, depending on when their planning period is and their lunch period is, has an opportunity to capitalize on that, not just one pocket. And this is open to all staff, not just teachers, open to any person here on Beechwood's campus. So these are just examples. We've done all kinds of different activities. Lindley Kirstein, she owns her business. She has been with us the last 2 years. This year she's coming in the spring to do like a paint a cake activity, really cool. So it's just been, honestly, I can speak to just participating with this group. It's been incredible how many people are willing to come, bring their area of expertise to our staff, and really work with us so it's affordable and accessible. I'm really proud of this work. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. And I can tell you that the staff are so grateful and express that openly to us. This year specifically, feedback we got from the staff was the gift of time was a big one. And how do we gift, the gift of time? And it came up in a conversation, and we were like, what if we were able to extend from lunch over another period, almost like having an additional planning period. And the elementary took it, took the idea, came up with what's gonna work best for the elementary side so that every grade level, and this is covered by district admin and building admin. So this is no cost to the district. We're not bringing in subs. We are doing that work. And I think that speaks volumes about the leadership here in the room. But elementary came up with their plan, every grade level. The students go to lunch, the teachers have the regular lunch, and then the students are covered for the next hour, hour and a half, while the district admin is covering those classes. For the high school, it was a little bit of a different puzzle that we put together, but we got it worked out. We actually have round 2, any staff member that chose to participate, because we do want to recognize that, some teachers, that might be the best way to give time. Some that's, they chose not to, but we had a large percentage of high school staff members, asked to participate. So round 2 of that, district admin would go and cover the class. And again, it's just been really, really well received. And then the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'll be done, is feedback about the collaboration between the 2 buildings. And how do we connect a little bit better? We've got this opportunity here at Beechwood like no other to connect these buildings, and they want that. The staff expressed they want that. So I don't know what year it was. Mr. Kaiser and Dr. Schibel might remember, but we did the Amazing Race and the staff loved it. And so it came back up like, what if we did that again? And I've already had multiple staff members reach out, like, we are doing it, right? Like, it is happening. But, on top of all the other things that we do, I think it's great that so many staff members want it, and so we're bringing that together. So anyway, this is awesome. And it is, it's been great. Like I said, this is just this year. I wasn't gonna, if you wanted to see what we've done the last few years, I've got the links for the different ones, but it's a very wide variety of opportunities that we provided for staff. And I think that's amazing. So, any questions for me?
Feedback seems to be good.
Feedback is very positive. Very, yes. Yeah, that's amazing, so.
Thank you to organizing.
Of course.
You did it very well.
I love it. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. From the counseling team, another thing that needs to be said is that's 1/3 of what they do. They put all that stuff up there. There's a whole other world of things that they work with each building. So the counseling team they're stretched thin. The 5 of them work together very closely. I know to not just put that together on a daily basis, because as high schoolers, high school counselors eventually get those little ones that Nicole and Dara work with. So just proud to be able to work with them and the team. They do a really good job. Lauren speaks for itself. She's passionate about it, and she always leads that work from the innovation team to do something different each year, so it's not redundant. And then Jana with the bully prevention and just looking at that data to show, okay, we are pretty dang good, but what can we do to make it a little bit better and address those pockets in the area? So just great work. Love to see it. The video was great. I hope it gives a clear picture, not just to the board, but to the community of all the things that are going on. that aren't just like academic and athletic and the arts at Beechwood. This is a whole nother layer that exists to support all kiddos. So I think it's really cool.
Ms. Bromley, I had a quick question, just because it was your section. The KSA survey that we got the 70% from, do they do anything equivalent for elementary test takers? Is that deemed like not age appropriate at that level?
Yeah, it's all the way through, so they would take it third grade on up.
Okay, do you remember what our numbers were like elementary was?
I really just looked at our middle school and high school,
Okay.
just because that's.
Oh, we were just closer.
No worries, I was just curious, because I saw middle school and high school, if they even do that at the elementary level.
Sure.
There's a different,
Go ahead. Yeah, that's great.
there's a different survey for 3rd through 5th.
Okay.
To make it a little more age
Kid
appropriate.
friendly,
There's
yeah.
not a huge difference. We also go over the survey with them ahead of time. 3rd grade comes into KSA very nervous because it's the first time they, and then they have to encounter the survey as their first thing. And there are some double negatives on there that are like, this is not a problem, strongly agree, we filter through that. So
Sure.
we sit down and we go through the data. One of the beautiful things about here is we can roughly estimate how many kids are in each category so we can gauge where we need to focus. And then 6th grade up takes those specific questions that you saw briefly.
Alright.
You can look up the survey online too. It's not like a lock and key thing. Anybody can see that information.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yeah.
How about not anybody can see it?
Other updates, there is, well, we'll go on to the finance report. Christie?
Okay. So on the finance report, as I mentioned last month, we're pretty much collected most of the property taxes for the year. I mean, there's still some little ones trickling in, but with all that in, our revenue has increased 6% over last year, and that is due to the tax increase and the increase in the SEEK assessment, or a SEEK base. The expenses, like payroll and benefits, were right in line with last year, and that is with the 2% in the dollar increase we did because of some reorganization we did in the district, and also with retirements and things like that. So again, we expect that to be less than last year, honestly, when we all finish out the year. But right now, it's pretty even. And then, our operating expenses, the big things, which we talk about all the time, is property insurance is one of our big ticket items that jumps every year. And this year, we've had some reorganization of like where we're coding things. So we had some people who were being paid through payroll, but now are being paid as consultants, so our outside services is a little bit higher. It's like 11,000. But it's not like anything major, nothing unexpected. Again, we're back to this. There's nothing unexpected in these numbers. We see them moving along as we expected, so.
Thank you, Christie.
I'm sorry, what did you say about property services? I see there's a jump.
That's the insurance.
The insurance?
Yeah, that's the insurance. That's what the big, because the typical place with outside services and property services, and property is the insurance, and the outside service, which is how we're classifying. And actually, if you look at that, you have like several years on that line item for outside services. That's why I mentioned this. 2 years ago, I think it was like 300 and some odd thousand. It went down to 2 something last year, and this year it's still around 2 something. So we have made cost adjustments in there over the years.
Right.
Yeah. So it's still it's very manageable.
Thank you, Christie. Personnel report, just 2 items of note. We hired Allison Finan as our school nurse. She's been doing a great job so far. Stacy was able to work with her, transition her over. Now she's rolling. So she's been doing really well. And the high school hired a golf head coach. And so those are 2 prominent hires in the past month. Construction update. We've had a total of 9 weather days where they were not able to get on campus to work. With that said, that obviously hits timelines, but they still feel confident that they can get the press boxes and softball and baseball ready by April 1st. Toadvine is the primary on that. They do the bleachers and the press boxes, while Brillmeyer does the general contractor work. Those are the two primary people working on that. They've done a really good job. And they've worked well, and they communicate well. We have a meeting waiting on the balcony to see how that's going to get fixed, and that would be a summertime project. We're waiting on Codell to get with the commissioning agent, who's Ian Holton, to see, all right, when are all the punch list items going to be done with HVAC and electric and lighting. That's all Phase B punch list items. For Phase C, this current phase, we're waiting on a permit for the lower field press box. Concession stand demo should happen this week and into next. Baseball bleachers and the press box, that work should start this week. Softball, the prep work, the groundwork, the concrete work is happening this week. So definite movement. They've done a good job to try to keep on pace even with the amount of snow that we've had, and then that snow doesn't melt. So it's not just like a bad weather day, it's like a bad weather week because they can't get in there and work around that. So hopefully this week thaws it out, melts it, and we'll be back on track. Another item, superintendent advisory. I had that last week, or 2 weeks ago. We had a whopping one person show up, so if anybody's watching the board meeting, come up and come to the superintendent advisory. It's very exciting stuff. But we did a mid-year recap. We went over the survey data, and that survey data was a mid-year survey that we sent out to students, parents, community members, and our staff to give us good kind of action items going forward on what they want to see more of and hear more of on our local accountability. Those are all associated kind of with our 5 pillars as well. The next one, superintendent advisory, is April 30th. We've also, at the working meeting, we started the work towards a mid-year publication from the Board of Education, where they go dive a little bit deeper into what they've done with the facilities, what they've done with finances, and what some of the kind of the accolades that we've received over the year. Kind of just a mid-year report on here's a message from the board. And so we're working on that. We started that the last working session, so I expect that to come out soon. The board will be attending the KSBA conference on February 19th, 20th, and 21st. That's down in Louisville. It's where they get some of their learning hours that are required each year. They're able to see what other education trends are going on, attend some conference sessions, so a learning opportunity for the board members to go down to that. Some things from Frankfurt. House Bill 75 is around property taxes. I know everybody's kind of worried about that one a little bit on property tax and what that might impact. At a certain age, you don't pay property tax or something like that. It's an interesting bill. Senate Bill 46 is around the van use, like a 9 or a 10-person van, and then once they approve the 9 or 10, then who is able to drive them and what requirements are needed for a staff member to drive said vehicle for district vehicle. Pre-K for all is on there. The question on that one was how do they pay for it? Where's that coming from? Senate Bill 181 was around all those communications things. That's going to be walked back a little bit, I think. We'll see. Senate Bill 3, that's around financial transparency. I talked with Christy. We pretty much do everything they're going to be asking us to do, so there's nothing major there. House Bill 257 is around local accountability and assessment, so that could be some changes there, but we're prepped and ready to deal with anything there. Senate Bill 71 is for you guys that they proposed 6 hours of financial training every 2 years. So I just saw that one today. Still working through them. Every day they seem to change and seem to add something and take something out. And so I've got a call scheduled with Ken Banta this week to dive into some of those a little bit more and see if there's any impact to Beechwood. Other items, Winter Formal was this past weekend, success. Band did their All-State this past weekend. Forensics high school team was a runner-up in the region. Middle school was the champions of the region for forensics. Seifert was the coach of the year. You have this Thursday, I believe, the senior scheduling night, the big college fair where 15 plus colleges will be here on site for all of our students. Then February 18th, we have the scheduling night for all the rising 7th through rising 11th graders. The swim team is in the state second round of the finals at the state championships. That's down in Louisville.
UK.
Is it UK? Okay. And then volleyball received their rings as purchased by the board. They received their rings Saturday, I believe. Friday night at the Holy Cross game. And then the musical is March 5th through 8th, I believe. And new auditorium, Shrek. So that should be fun. Yeah, a lot of things going on. Busy time of year. That's it for superintendent report.
The next section is we take a motion to enter a closed session per KRS 6.1.8.
Second.
Still gonna read it all. KRS 6.1.
I gave you a way out.
0. Pending litigation.
I still make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Berger? Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Shea?